Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy White. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please, if this is the first time you're checking on my channel, kindly hit on that subscribe button and turn on notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you. So guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this overlap jacket you are seeing on your screen. So that is what we are going to be doing today. So I've gone ahead to draw out my box using the biggest part of my measurements. So now here is going to serve as our shoulder line or our starting point. So this is the front of our pattern and this is the back of our pattern. So now the extra allowance you are seeing there is for the overlap. So what I have there is 6 inches. I came out with 6 inches. Yours can be more than 6 inches. So that is what we have here. So now at this point, guys, we're going to go ahead and start with our measurements. So all our measurements, I'm going to be starting it from this line that we have there. So the first thing we're going to do is to take our shoulder measurement. So the shoulder I'm working with is 15 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it into 2, which gives us what, 7.5. So now I'm going to be taking the chest line. So what I have for the chest line is 9 inches. So to get your chest line, you are going to divide your box divided by 6 plus 1.5 plus 1. So that is what I did, and I got 9 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it from the front to the back. Remember, we are drafting both the front and the back together. So this is our chest line. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be putting down the shoulder measurement on the chest line. So the 7.5 I took on the shoulder, I'll go ahead and put it down on the chest line. So after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and connect it just as you see me doing. So now I've connected it, and the next thing I'm going to do, I am going to be taking the shoulder slope of 1.5. For the front, I'll be using 1.5. So I'm drafting the back pattern and the front together. So what I'm doing now is I'm imputing the shoulder measurement. The 7.5 I imputed in front, I'm doing that at the back also. So guys, for the neck width, I am going to divide my bust divided by 12. So I'll be imputing 3.3 there, and for the neck depth, I'll be doing the same thing. So you do that for your measurements as well. So now I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect what I have here. So after connecting it, I'm going to connect from the neck width to the shoulder slope that we have there, just as you see me doing. I've done that already. So now I'm going to be, for the back, I'll be using the same neck width for the back as well. And for the neck depth, I'm going to come down with 1 inch. For the neck depth, I'm coming down with 1 inch, and I'm going to use my curve ruler to just connect what I have here. All right guys, so I've done that already. And for the back shoulder slope, I'll be using 1.25. You can use 1 inch, but I just decided to use 1.25 for the shoulder slope. So this is what we have for our front and our back. So now at this point, I'm going to go up from the chest line with 3 inches, and I will go in with 0.5, 0.75 is actually okay. So I'll just go ahead and connect it to the shoulder tip. And after doing that, I'll go ahead and use my curve ruler to connect the armhole. So for the back, this is what I am going to do. I'm going to place my tape this way and divide it into 2 to get the midpoint. So on that midpoint, I'm going to go in with 0.5, just as you see me doing. After going in 0.5, I'm going to connect it, and I also use my curve ruler to do what? To connect it. I've done that already, and this is what we have. Can you see it, guys? So this is what we have. So now the next thing I'm going to do at this point is to get our waist measurement, shoulder to the waist. So the shoulder to the waist I'm working with is 18 inches. I'll go ahead and connect it from the front to the back. So we're not going to be doing a difference of any figure, that is from the front, between the front and the back. We'll be using the same waist measurement for the front and the back, because there is not going to be a bust dart on this jacket we're working with. So that is why we're having the same figure for the waist measurement. So this is what we have. I'm just trying to take the pattern up so that you can see what I am doing. And I can also take the full length of the top I am working with. So the full length of this top I am working with is actually 24 inches. So I'm going to take the full length. I'm trying to place my tape to get the full length. So I'm doing that for the back as well. And so this is the full length of our top, which is 24 inches. So now I'm going to be taking the bust measurement. I'm just going to go ahead and put down the bust measurement I'm working with. I'm working with bust 40.5. So this is what I have for the bust. So the waist, I am working with waist 36. I'm working with waist 36, which gives us 9 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the 9 inches for the waist. And next thing we're going to do, we are going to come down from the waist. I'm coming down with 9 inches to get the hip. So I'm marking 9 inches from the waist point. You go down with 9 inches to get the hip line. So after doing that, I am going to connect it. So it's on that hip line I am going to be placing the hip measurement that we'll be working with. So now I'm going to connect what I have. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm connecting it from the front to the back of our pattern. So this is what we have. So this is going to serve as our hip line. So on this hip line, I am going to place the hip measurement I am working with. The hip I'm working with is 44 inches. So 44 divided by 4 will give us 11 inches. So I'll go ahead and place the 11 inches there, and I'll just go ahead and connect what we have now. So guys, at this point, we are going to take the shoulder to the bust point. So the shoulder to the bust point I am working with is 11.5. So I'm putting down 11.5 from the shoulder point. After doing that, I'll go ahead and connect what I have here. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect what I have here. So now at this point, we are going to be taking our bust span measurement. So the bust span I am working with is 4.25, which is 8.5. So this is 4.25. So from the waistline, I am going to come up with 6 inches. And from the waistline, I am going to go down with 6 inches. So that is the length of our dart. So I'm just going to go ahead and input what the 4.25 for our bust span. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and connect what I have here. So after connecting it, we are going to be taking our dart leg. So the dart I am working with is 1.25. 1.25. So I'll go ahead and put down the measurement there. Can you see it? I'm putting down 0.6 on both sides, and I'll go ahead and connect the dart leg. So I have done that already, and this is what we have for our dart. So here is what I'm going to do. Pay close attention to what I'm doing. I'm going to pick one of the dart leg and bring it down to the side. Yes. So this is what I'm going to do, just to give the waist a little bit of fitting, a snatchy sort of effect. So I'm going to use a broken line to connect it. So but this broken line is actually our actual line that we'll be cutting on. So but I'm just using a broken line on it so that you understand what I am doing. So I've done that already. Can you see what I've done? So now I'm coming over to the back. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tighten the center back. So I'm using 0.75 to tighten the center back. So you can also use 1 inch. It depends on how deep the back is. So I'm using 0.75 to tighten this back. I'm just going to go ahead and place my ruler this way, just as you see me doing, and I will connect it from the waistline. I'm taking it upward, and I'll take it down. So I've done that already. Can you see it? So now at this point, we are going to be taking our dart measurement. So just the same way I did in front, from the waistline, I'm going up with 6 inches, and I will come down with 6 inches as well. And for the dart intake, I'm still going to use the bust span measurement, which is 4.25. So that is what I am doing. I'm imputing 4.25. I'm just marking down 4.25. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and connect what I have there. Okay guys, so at this point I am going to be taking the bust measurement. So for the back, I'm still going to be using the same measurement, which is 10.25, and the waistline I'll be using 9 inches. So I'm not starting my measurement from the end, I'm starting my measurement from the back tightening, from the center back tightening. So I've imputed the waist measurement. I will come over to the hip and put down the same hip measurement. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and connect it together from the bust to the waist, and from the waist I'll connect it to the hip line. So I have done that already, and this is what we have. So now I'm going to be imputing the dart measurement. So I'll be using 0.6 on both sides. 0.6, a dart intake of 0.6 is what I am using on both sides. You can use 0.5. It all depends on what you want. So now I'm going to connect it. So this is what we have. So I'm still going to take just one of the dart leg and bringing it to the side, and I'm going to connect it using what? A broken line. But this broken line is actually the actual line we are going to be cutting on later. So this is what we have. I'm taking it down to the hip line as well. So this is what we have for our back pattern. We are done with the back. The back is actually very simple and easy to do. So this is what our pattern is looking like. I'm just showing you the full view of what the pattern. So this is what we have. Okay guys, so now at this point I am going to extend the waistline, the hip line, and the hem line. Remember, this part is where we are going to be bringing our overlap, so I need to extend this line. So now I'm extending the hem line as well, and the full length of our top as well. I'm going to extend the 3 lines. These 3 lines are important. So this is what we have. I've extended it, and this is what we have. At this point, I'm going to come down from the shoulder line. I'm coming down with 8.5. You can use 8 inches or 7.5 if you don't want it to be revealing. So, but I'm using 8.5. I'm going to go ahead now and connect it upward. So this is what we have. So now I'm also going to go ahead and do this. From the waistline, I will come down with 2 inches. 2 inches, 1.5 is okay. So this is the overlapping area, so don't get it confused. So I'll just go ahead and bring down the dart leg because I'll be connecting it there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my curve ruler now, and I'm going to connect from this 8.5. I will take it down to the where I marked the 2 inches. So this is going to serve as the overlap for our jacket. I'm just going to go ahead now and do this. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm connecting it this way. So this is what we have for our overlap. I'm going to bring it down this way. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to, from that point, I will connect it. So from the dart leg, I'm going to go in. I went in with 2.5. 2.5 is okay from the dart leg. So can you see what I'm doing? So now I'm going to connect it with my straight ruler. So take note of all these things. With my straight ruler, I'm connecting it. Can you see it? So after connecting it this way, I'm going to get my curve ruler. Looking at the side of our jacket, it has a curve sort of. So I'm using the curve part of it, not too curvy, but the curve part of it. I am going to connect it to the hemline of our top, to the side of our top. So this is what I am going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and give it that smooth curve that it has on our jacket. So this is what we have for our jacket. We are almost done with our drafting of this jacket that we have here now. So now the last but not the least thing we are going to do is to connect our darts. Remember, what we are having on the picture is a princess dart. So in front, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to be doing the princess dart in front. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to the armhole. So I will come out with 0.5 because of the joining when we are joining it. So after coming out with 0.5 at that end, I'll just go ahead and connect it down to the armhole. So now for the back, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing a shoulder dart at the back. So I'm going to measure the shoulder line this way. So I'll measure the shoulder slope this way, and I'll divide it into 2. I'm going to mark the midpoint. So from that midpoint, I will get my straight ruler, I will connect it this way. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going to go ahead and connect it this way. So this is the dart I'll be using for the back. For the front is a princess dart, and for the back is a shoulder princess dart we are doing. So this is what we have. And the last thing I'm going to do on this pattern now is to tighten the shoulder points. So just a bit of a tightening. So I'll be doing 0.5 in front and 0.25 at the back for the shoulder tightening. So this is what our jacket pattern is looking like. Can you see it? So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay guys, so now we're done cutting it out. Can you see what it's looking like, what our pattern is looking like? So now the next thing we're going to do is to place it on our fabric and we'll cut it out. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to place our pattern on our fabric and I have cut it out. Can you see it? So now what I added for the side was 1 inch seam allowance for the side, sewing allowance of 1 inch, and at the front, the back and the shoulder point, every other point I added 0.5, but for the side, the allowance I left out was 1 inch seam allowance. So I've also gone ahead to cut out the lining that I'll be using for this fabric. So for the front, I use the same fabric for the facing. Can you see it? For the front, I use the same fabric for the facing. So but for the other part, I used was a suit lining for it. So at this point, I want to quickly mention that you can add your interfacing to it. Add your interfacing to it to give it more structure, but I'm not going to be doing that. It's just for tutorial purpose. So now here is what we are going to do. I'm going to go ahead and place the fabric together for the back and for the front, all the dart points. I'm going to take it to my machine and use what 0.5 inch allowance I added to sew on all the sides. I'll be sewing on it, I'll press on it, and I'll show you what it's looking like. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to sew on it and pressed on it, and this is what our pieces is looking like. It's taking shape already. I've added what I've ironed it out, and this is what it's looking like. So this is what we have for the front, and for the back we have done the same thing as well. So this is what our jacket is looking like. Can you see it? So like I said earlier, you can add your stay to it or your paper stay, whatever interfacing you use, you can go ahead and add it to it before what joining these pieces together. So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be placing the front and the back together this way. So because at this point we'll be joining the shoulders together, so right side facing each other for the front and for the back, we'll be joining it together using 0.5. I'll place the other one on it also. For the front, I'll be placing it on it this way, and we'll be using 0.5 to sew on it. So whatever I do on the fashion fabric, I'll be doing the same thing on the lining as well. I'll be using 0.5 to sew on it for the front, for the fabric itself, and for the lining itself, I'll be doing the same thing. So when I'm done doing that, I will show you what next we are going to do. Okay guys, so after joining the shoulders together, can you see it? I've joined the shoulders together, and this is what it's looking like. So this is what you should have at this point. So I've done the same thing for the lining, like I said. So now here is what I am going to do. I've opened up my fabric. Can you see it? So now I'm going to place the lining on it this way, because we're going to be joining the neckline together. So this is how I am placing it. Just watch the way I am going to placing it. So we're going to be joining the neckline this way. We're going to join from one end to the other end. So while joining, you have to ensure that this point, this sharp point you have here, is what matching up. Okay, so while sewing, I'm also going to stop at 2 inches or 2.5 inches before I get to the end of my jacket. So I'm going to stop 2 inches or 2.5 inches. So because I'm doing an inseam finishing, that is why I'm doing that. So this is it. I've gone ahead to sew the neckline, and this is the side where I said we should do what? Stop 2 inches or 2.5 inches before I get to the end. So I'm just going to flip it to the front so that you see what this jacket is looking like. Can you see what is looking like? Please don't mind the water you are seeing. While pressing it, I added water to it just to smoothing it very well. So that is why you are seeing a sprinkle of water on it. So now this is how your jacket is going to look like. So at this point, we are going to be joining the sides together. So I'm going to be placing fabric to fabric and lining to lining together. So here is what I'm going to do. Remember, the allowance we added to it was just 1 inch. So I'm going to be sewing down with that 1 inch on the fabric itself, and on the lining I'll be doing the same thing, using that same 1 inch to sew on it. So after sewing on it, I'm also going to do iron out the seam allowance. So this is what we have. Can you see it? I've ironed it out, and this is what our jacket is looking like, guys. Can you see it? Very neat. So I've also gone ahead to cut out the sleeve I'm going to be attaching to this jacket. It's just a basic sleeve. The fabric I'm actually working with is a small fabric, so I'm going to do a 3/4 sleeve is what I'm doing. So this is what we have. I'll go ahead and fix the sleeve, and I'll show you what this jacket is looking like. So at this point, if you want to add your pairs to it, you go ahead and attach your pairs to it, but I will not be attaching any pair to this jacket, guys. So this is what our jacket is finally looking like. It's a 2-in-1 jacket. I'm going to show you another way you can wear this jacket. So this is how our jacket is looking like. So the opening, like I said, I use 8.5, so I'm going to be using a camisole on it. So this is what we have. You just go ahead and put your button, and this is how your jacket will look like. So the other way you can also use your jacket is to open up your button and you leave it just this way you are seeing it. Yes, guys, I like it this way. I think I prefer wearing it this way, open just the way it is, like this, without using my button on it. So this is what our jacket is looking like, guys. This is the final look of our jacket. All right, guys, so please, if you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to hit on that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Like and share our video, make your comments. Till our next tutorial again, we'll be doing something else. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.